king because this agreement was made before his time, and he understood this was a wicked man. But because of the agreement, David took his army on out there anyway, but was praying that things would change. When they got out there, they said, no, you can't fight with us because we understand you were in alignment with alliance with this guy and other king one time before. So we can't let you fight with us, David, lest you change your mind and go back to the other side. Well, that worked in David's behalf. So David and his army were glad. So they turned around and they left and they went back. And so that I said that to say they understood it's all about recognizing the spirit that's in the leader. Yeah. David and his men got back to Ziklag only to find their family members slain, killed. And the men wept. Well, they weren't killed. The city was ravaged and their family members were taken captive. And so the men wept till they could weep no more. They had no more tears left to weep. David wept also. Yes. It's one thing when you think you as a member of the congregation weep and you don't understand that your leaders weep too. Yes. And they thought to kill David as if David had done it. That's right. Not understanding David was grieving too because his family members were going through. Yes. Sometimes all we see is what we're going through. You don't recognize the fact that leaders have families too, and leaders' families go through. They could not see the tears that David was shedding because they were only looking and concerned about their tears. That's right. That's good. And David had to encourage himself. You have to understand sometimes if you don't have an encouraging word, you just need to be quiet. If you can't bend your knees, you just need to just sit down somewhere and keep it to yourself. And so, but David got up with the word of God that said, pursue, and you shall recover all. See, one thing we have to understand is this. Sometimes we want to blame the leader and we want to go after the leader, want to go after the leader's family. But what we don't understand is the leader has to go and seek God. The leader is not trying to get revenge. The leader is called to not only pray for you, but got to pray for themselves to get a breakthrough. Leaders going through too, and you telling the leader what you're going through, and all you want, you're not concerned about the leader. All you're concerned is the leader sit down and hear your heart. But have you ever thought to ask, tell me what is your heart, so I can have your spirit? You get to go out to lunch, or you go out and all you want to talk about is your issue. But have you thought enough just to sit down and ask her, what is heavy on your heart? How can I help you get through this? You and I have to have our leader's spirit to carry out the vision that God gives to them. And when I say recognize them that labor among you and are over you in the Lord, I'm not referring to vacuuming the floor. I'm not talking about mowing the lawn. I'm not talking about dusting the furniture. I don't care whether you put the tar on the roof or not. I'm not talking about that. I'm referring to those that are laboring over you in the Word. Come on, the ones that are digging in, that are praying, that are seeking the face of God for the Word for you, and then turning around and giving it to you after extracting those golden nuggets, those doctrinal nuggets, as well as praying for your soul. That was the Old Testament we talked about. Now let's take a closer look in the New Testament. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 16, verse 13. You can turn there if you want to. You've heard of the like CGI, and some of Clarion Call have heard it before. Where in Matthew chapter 16, verse 13, how Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi. He asked his disciples, who do men say I, the Son of Man, am? He too wanted to know if his leaders recognize who he is. Not who he was, he is. He is the great I am. He was and is to come. He's always futuristic. He's in the now. And so Jesus asked them, who do men say I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, some say you John the Baptist, some say you Elijah, some say you Jeremiah, and others just simply said he's a prophet. But not one of them understood who their leader really was and is. So do you know who the leader is? Is the question I need to ask you today. Do you really know who your leader is? Have you sat down to really hear the heart, to know who they really are? Because people that say they know you, they really don't know you. They said they knew Jesus, but then when Jesus stood in their midst and said, the Spirit of the Lord is on me because He has anointed me to preach the gospel. He has anointed me to set at liberty them that are bruised. And He began to tell them what He was anointed to do. And they looked at Him just like you looking at me. Someone just posed the question. They just raised a question. They didn't say He was not who He said He is. They just said, isn't that Mary and Joseph, boy? All right. Isn't that Brenda from CGI over there with Scott Nixon? Not really realizing and recognizing the gift that's on the inside. We have to look beyond their flesh and see what's invested from heaven on the inside, and take our faith as a catalyst and draw out what God has impregnated them with. Are you hearing me? And so Jesus took His apostolic team of 12 men up into the mountain to Caesarea Philippi to reveal to them who He really is. He knew they had been listening to gossip. Oh, that's a whole different thing. If I were to ask you what's been said about your leader in the community, could you tell me the truth and answer me who they are really saying, who they really are? And did you answer them back? Or did you just smirk? Or did you just grin? Or did you just, I just didn't say nothing.
Come on now.
When they made their comment, did you really say, no, you don't know them, I know them? Or did you just listen to the conversation to get an earful? Jesus understood His 12 apostolic team. All 11 of them got an earful. But Peter said, I don't know if he got an earful or not, but Peter said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. I know they may be talking about you in the community, but I didn't listen to that. Your Father told me. I know who you are. Thank you. And so He began to talk to them. And He says, okay, you're son of Jonah. Flesh and blood didn't reveal who I am to you. My Father in heaven told you who I am. Isn't it something that the Father in heaven chose to reveal who Jesus is to the unbeliever?